The Valdrine Imperium had conquered 47 star systems in less than a decade. Their military doctrine was simple: overwhelming force, systematic elimination of resistance, and absolute subjugation. When their scout ships detected Earth, a primitive world with fractured nations and chemical-based propulsion, the decision was unanimous. The humans would be easy prey. Admiral Kreshtar stood on the bridge of the flagship Domination, watching Earth's blue marble grow larger on the display. His mandibles clicked with satisfaction. Intelligence reports showed the humans were barely spacefaring, their largest vessels confined to their own moon. They had no unified government, no energy shields, no plasma weaponry. This wouldn't be a war. It would be an extermination followed by colonization. "Broadcast the standard ultimatum," Kreshtar ordered. "Give them one rotation to surrender." The message transmitted across all human frequencies was clear: submit or die. The Valdrine expected panic, chaos, perhaps desperate pleas for mercy. What they received instead puzzled them. Laughter. Not from one source, but thousands. Every nation on Earth responded the same way, with defiant mockery and a simple message: come and try. Kreshtar's confusion turned to rage. He gave the order to commence orbital bombardment. The first wave of Valdrine ships descended through Earth's atmosphere, targeting major population centers. But as they entered weapons range, something unexpected happened. The humans were ready. Missiles, thousands of them, screamed up from the surface. Not the primitive chemical rockets the Valdrine had anticipated, but weapons that had been stockpiled for decades, designed to kill each other in a war that never came. Nuclear warheads detonated in carefully calculated patterns, creating electromagnetic pulses that scrambled Valdrine navigation systems. "Impossible," Kreshtar hissed. They should be in disarray. What the Valdrine didn't understand was that humans had spent their entire existence preparing for this moment, not against aliens, but against themselves. Every nation had built weapons capable of ending civilization. Every military had planned for total war. The only thing that had prevented human extinction was the absence of a common enemy. Now they had one. The second surprise came when Valdrine ground forces landed in what their maps designated as North America. They expected frightened civilians. Instead, they found armed populations. Not just soldiers, civilians. Millions of them. Humans who owned weapons for sport, for protection, for tradition. The Valdrine had never encountered a species where the general population was armed and trained in violence. Captain Velmoth's battalion was ambushed in a place called Texas. His troops, veterans of a dozen campaigns, were cut down by farmers using hunting rifles. In a region called Switzerland, entire mountains erupted with hidden artillery. In rural Russia, guerrilla fighters emerged from forests that swallowed Valdrine patrols whole. But the true horror began when the humans counterattacked. Earth's fractured nations had one thing the Valdrine Imperium lacked: creativity born from constant conflict. Humanity had spent millennia perfecting the art of killing each other. They had studied warfare in every environment, against every type of enemy with every possible limitation. They had written thousands of books on strategy, produced countless simulations, and taught millions of soldiers the brutal calculus of survival. The Valdrine had conquered worlds through superiority. Humans had survived by adaptation. Within weeks, human engineers had reverse-engineered captured Valdrine technology. Within months, human factories, built to produce consumer goods, had retooled for war production at a scale that defied belief. The same industrial capacity that made billions of smartphones now churned out weapons, ships, and armor. Commander Sarah Chen stood in the war room beneath Colorado, watching the tactical display. "They think we're weak because we fight each other," she said to the assembled leaders. "They don't understand that we fight each other because we're good at it." The Chinese delegate nodded. "Every human culture has warrior traditions going back millennia. We didn't evolve to be conquerors. We evolved to be survivors." "They picked a fight with a species that invented the concept of total war," added the Russian general. "They're about to learn what that means." The turning point came at the Battle of Luna. The Valdrine sent their entire fleet to crush the human resistance in one decisive engagement. But humans didn't fight fair. They used the moon's mass as cover, employed guerrilla tactics in 3 dimensions, and sacrificed smaller ships to position larger ones. When Valdrine ships tried to retreat, they found their path blocked by a minefield of repurposed satellites and space debris. When they tried to communicate with their command, They found their frequencies jammed by every transmitter on Earth broadcasting at maximum power. Admiral Kreshtar watched in horror as his fleet was systematically dismantled. These weren't soldiers. These were madmen who flew damaged ships directly into Valdrine cruisers, who rigged reactors to explode, who fought with a ferocity that bordered on suicidal. "What are they?" he whispered. His second officer, studying the intercepted human communications, finally understood. "They're apex predators, Admiral. We attacked their home. We threatened their young. We didn't declare war on a civilization. We declared war on a planet full of survivors who spent their entire history learning how to kill." The final transmission from the domination was intercepted by every species in the known galaxy. Admiral Kreshtar's voice, broken and defeated. "To any who receive this, stay away from Earth. They are not warriors. They are not conquerors. They are something far worse. They are human." The Valdrine Imperium sued for peace within the year. The terms were simple: complete withdrawal, reparations, and an agreement to warn every species they encountered about humanity. Earth's leaders gathered in the rebuilt United Nations building. They had won, but at a cost. Millions dead, cities destroyed, resources depleted. Yet humanity had survived, as it always had. "They thought we were weak because we weren't united," Sarah Chen said. "They didn't realize that our divisions made us stronger. Every conflict taught us something new. Every war made us more adaptable." The Chinese delegate smiled grimly. "They declared war on Earth. No one warned them that we've been at war with ourselves for 10,000 years. We didn't need to learn how to fight. We needed to learn who to fight." And so humanity joined the galactic community, not as victims, not as conquerors, but as the species that had turned self-destruction into an art form and survival into a science. The other civilizations kept their distance, spreading stories of the death world called Earth and its terrifying inhabitants. They had declared war on humanity. It was the last mistake the Valdrine Imperium would ever make.